kama and waso yasene ama ye de bro.
Ghana de shima ma ye mo nyina ha UTV asuni o memu nsem ne ma hodro so de awosemufo ason so no e na wie me de esom na ensem ni bia etodwa kase boy mu ene se Shebidwafo akwa setena ama Speaker of Parliament Edin Sembi atodwa esese wo hwe 8 Parliament na etwa mu no a omu de Ghana gina nsamiye bi so a hunu se ka bi maminka bi na eye adwuma yi papa ewo ensem foforo mu no Ababeto just say SML sensem ho ye kase ye the Office of the Special Prosecutor ahwe amaya kwache kane GRA Commissioner General eni afoforo mienu eka ne ho say wo moda so ewo won akache sa so na watch say aban ehwe akwani asa obetumi afa so na plastic ahodo agi wo man Ghana mu aboso amafin edokro ye no ye betumi abra na de wo mu nso yakrakra ede afiri ho no mo Yeboshi ekopie mu nso a ewo Greater Accra mantem ha ye ababeto edwa say de aviation jumayefo animu ka ye kire se wo mu hia mpeja ewo onwuma a wo ye mu enunti wo mo nso so akasa ewo niema ahodo bi a wo bo enyoso ye de ni nyina mu nkyeremu ebebre mu ewo kasebo yi emu mi amidi kase ho kira mi midin de amma sapun kuma jesina me kai mu se miti cute cat palo mu abeka junction na ma me so na clothing palace share me atade na this way chocolate drink je ohia nsuo share so na specialized mineral water me patcho wo mu na so yasene ene ecobank yetumi de kase esomo yantensi ensem no emwe Speaker of Parliament Right Honorable Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagman edi atudwa say 8 Parliament no anankofo Ghana de hye binum ka say na agro wo mani so no mu di agro do no se da bi ntisa wo mu de Ghana gina susudro bi a hunu say kabima minka bi no omote ase pa.
Honorable members, the performance of the 8th Parliament rekindled the hope of Ghanaians in democracy. The world stood in admiration as the 8th Parliament succeeded where others had failed, despite the cynicism of doomsayers. The 8th Parliament broke the jinx of the fate of hung parliaments all over the world, particularly in Great Britain, Australia, or even in Ghana, where we had the experience of the Third Republic. The 8th Parliament completed its full term of 4 years, and a successful general elections were held. Honorable members, I am proud to report that the world is responding positively to the progress made by the 8th Parliament. The 9th Parliament renewed efforts at stemming corruption and enhancing good governance by the creation of the Legal Services and Governance Division, together with the Public Engagement and Citizens Bureau, has helped in this direction. The World Bank, with its global expertise in governance reforms, and the UK's Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, which is renowned for its commitment to strengthen democratic institutions, have both acknowledged and applauded our progress towards improved accountability and transparency in economic governance. Indeed, and not in words, the two institutions are partnering the 9th Parliament to build a well-informed, well-equipped, and strengthened Parliament to foster appropriate development in Ghana. This partnership comes with an amount of $1,600,000 United States dollars from these two donor nations for an initial estimated 18 months period. Honorable members, our partners will play their role in making the resources available to us. How we judiciously apply these resources to attain the desired outcomes will rest on all of us, but largely on the following committees, which are penciled to benefit from the project.
We are wishing for you to answer me so emamo. Ababeto yapono so wo fidua mu ese kane Commissioner General Edema Ghana Revenue Authority Reverend Dr. Amisha Dai Owusu Amwa ye kase de watwirekukumu ama afoforo mienu so eka ne ho a wo ye GRA adwumayefo na ni nyina agina SML ho nsensem contract ye de ma wonom ni sika ye tua de ma wo mu wo contract no a wonom eye ho special prosecutor ene de ekobma National Intelligence Bureau so wonom ehwehwe asem and manam so ya to nsafre wonom na ye chese conditions a ye de ma wonom wo asem ne ho se wonyina so miemfa mbedi wo mu na chese wantumi enru ho enu nti wo mu da so wo nkokum na ni nyina nkamfo ano wo chese se de ye nyina ye nim no afimpim yenu ni dunso 2017 ho na wonom etintim adwumako e frɛ no se SML yi na chese sabre no na danko akufo ado amamuo na frɛ ase a na enhwehwemu abeto dwa ene se wonom enjoy papa ne contract papa bia wo Ghana hade wo mu aye bi enso so enka adwuma no uhwemu pa nka wo mu dwumadie pa se adwumayekuo no na chese wo mu ye timber company a enka enso so adwuma bia wo mu enya bi eye wo Ghana ha na yesi manase azure ene onuanom sentrofo edi asem na chi a ya wo mu ye nhwehwemu no wo mu ko SMFo ko bisa wo mu se sika say contract say na munya free GRA nsam sika say na mojema wo mu say na mo so moje ye wo modwuma mo ye ho obi antumi ansi wo mu wi anase ejei na samo be kaya sa asenkro ya ho enti na special prosecutor yewura kisi ajaben we declare kane wo man photo samfo yewura ken oforiata ese wo ye fugitive enti baabi ebehunu bia yemfa ne mra na wo megina emra no na mpanyimfo to nsafre won se o mebisa o meyi nsemisa bia no na wo mko yi nsem ne anu wie ye no yesi owura ba kwa o ka ho no edi dwuma ya wo ye Dr. Isaac Crensel former commissioner customs na yewura Christian Tete ono so ye former technical advisor edema commissioner general yewura Amisha Dai wo mu na say ya to nsa edi afro mu a wo mantumi ya meet bail conditions nti wo mo da so wo NI before ekokomu. We are for your better so dia any PP amanyokuo wonom primaries no say die eyade a chese ahoboa egu kwan so a na anu etwa mu na omo de beto dwa ese afimpim yenu ene na duonu nsia January bosome de to so aduasan baako na wonom behwe na wakoto Franka Krani so aba na wayi obi baako a obedi wonom anim na yehwe ese na ahoboa pa esi ekọ emasa adwumadi
ye kwa yi eye flag bearer so nka date ne die ntina mi bisa se binum so opinion ne se favor ni pa ba akofo
ene de omo opinion ne no me hu ni say disturb preparation to the elections enye ni pa ba ako I don't see how that will affect one person or otherwise but maybe the might be the same you change your way of doing things by way of leaders. You change abruptly, sir, and I change suddenly, sir. I hear MY.
Is it sudden?
Say all of a sudden, unknown to us. You see, you have got to a Memphis room reform. A new proposition. A DNA beboying ISSA sir versus a DNA MY ISSA sir. The way we know options we no where balance of convenience ewo any you so no no be si chinchin a ye sadia na ye yan ye haye me dey mean ni kwa bia say me advocacy against any one person or for one person when it comes to constitutional matters.
Okay.
The constitution no enu na ye mre bebo ye hu ban me bia ye de pese ye na say yes sakre mu sakre no emwa yen emienye yenya ultimate no no na ya moye hu.
Okay, is there a possibility to say mukoyi top na see yi flag bearer we ansana ya ba down ababe yi other omo occupy other positions no mo so omo de ne ba be yi omo flag bearer ne betimi nya influence
me dey be person make say your constitution we here we there e massa kwa no say you koyi top bi ansana be yi down
no say so
e be the sadia agisi ayo amendment we constitution mu e be me esa facility no an amendment no na agisi de conference one e be say amendment na constitution amendment a new constitution amended form of the old one and a beba after the reforms.
Lawyer Alexander Chumberima, Deputy Director General in charge of Enforcement Control any elimination Narcotics Control Commission na yerei ede ato my Ghana de hye nyina nim se akwani ase bia sese wonum fa so eko enuboni a eba yadwa so ene wonum edi hu dwa no wotu won so sase de be ye be firi wona yapomuden ho nsam ni tutu wo mabunu so atumi agina so na enkoba ne se o my Ghana ye mabunu a o my da akyehye won sa abrabo be sei no yade a wonum efa so
mafutu amede be ma wo mo adi nnuro ne ba no se wonum sei nyinti wo de ba mpa na odi ateta. But we will come after you. As I assurance in the Debbie Amadema. So, we will in the tone, we so be imported. You will use every radical means to look for you and get you. And I can tell you, there are a lot of intels on our tables we are working on. And we will go after them one after the other. It doesn't matter who is behind you and what image you are covering. We will come after you. The one person near Benyano, any pharmacy that we meet, you intel about you. So you are selling red. You lock up your pharmacy and you lace up with the pharmacy council. They have given us the full assurance that they are ready to support us in that fight. So you close down your pharmacy. Your license, they have assured they are going to revoke, and they revoke it. And we will also take you to the law vigorously or thoroughly. Into one person you be a problem. Now who you be? What can be free India? What can be free infants or the bar? Stop it before it's too late. Because when you get you, no amount of phone call will get you out. You are by no money baby and numbio. Yachi will be a maybe answer question. Oh, but I was saying, my baby and Musanema out was it Debbie? To no Tony Musan into a man number was so bad the Omatongon.
Drug addiction is one disease that affects every area of our lives. From archaeology to zoology, road traffic accident, rape, armed robbery, diseases, what have you, child abuse. Drug addiction has its mouth in all aspects of life, unless, of course, somebody can tell me that addiction does not affect a particular area. It affects everywhere. When you go and you do retrogressive studies in HIV/AIDS, a majority of the people who are who are suffering from HIV has some history of substance use disorder. That is why it is when you go to tuberculosis, when you go to strokes, when you go to kidney, renal failures and the rest, where you having younger boys and girls having renal failures, kidney problem, it is secondary to substance use. They are mixing concoctions to lead to aphrodisiac effects. So that is one area. And I think Narcotics Control Commission is doing well, but they need, like my colleague said, they have to increase the number of participants. They have to do more trainings, and they can do that if they have the funding. So we are calling that funding should be made available, and then there should be more trainings.
Addiction is a disease, and that the addicts are living with us in the communities. We are trying so hard to shove them away, but at the end of the day, it's the community that suffers. There is hope for them. Whilst the NACOG is containing those who are bringing, those who have been affected are in the communities. They should access health care. Once they access the health care, there is always hope for them. There is something that can be done about their addiction, that they can come out and their lives will be very meaningful into the society.
You don't need to be a practitioner or a professional in the field before you can even do it. You need, you can, the way the whole program is tailored or the training is tailored, anyone else, anyone at all who has the zeal and want to partake can partake in it.
Cape Coast ena yedi yani eche wonfinfin mantemu na panyi kwanchefo a woda kropon no ano ede ato edwase eyade asese wo mo hwe na adan ahodo a wosusu se ebetumi ebuagu animanimu ya na di nsusu asobone abre nipa abekum nipa de sa adan ni nyina wo mbedwiri ede agu se de be ya wo kina enkofo owie ne bi emma.
Cape Coast in fact an ancient town. Okay, a lot of historical backings, historical antecedents. I don't know, most of them over town, the township of Cape Coast was built around 1900 something. The one that outlive my existence. In Sunu Twa, or in that then for instance, this particular building. Mokro hono asesena no ngui no mokro ho ana mokro na nsu aka hyede no mu ama igino ho deda wa the mekade I saw them they was so nsu na egu the ma show them mama na bo wa ba hwe mo anche before anche na the matter in Germany say na wa ma yesu azi pf wa ma deni bia no oye ancient. Oh, yeah, very much dilapidated. What it was as a metropolitan chief executive together with the assembly and the stakeholders. There's another building I will go feed. When you can see the building or a 3-story building. While war, the dilapidated stage for about 11 to 12 years. Very dangerous building. Though a block. No, so I ordered that very day. They won't cook the next day. And see, they started the demolition exercise yesterday on Sunday. In there, many cases will go down from here. We go to Marco now is when you are share that demolition exercise. So we are calling on all the major stakeholders and the people of Cape Coast there. I will be around them over that dilapidated state. I will to Mose how was happening. Yababa yenua betina phone na yenuezi misisi na yahwe how best able to use demolition. Demolition exercise involves a lot or a huge or a costly. And if you cannot do, assembly would just do that so that sanity will prevail in Cape Coast. Na yahwe the mazot them on KCBO.
Hana dan abonsan oya odu adisi emu osu ama again washi won kan awo osina dwe not mo share hano ma na ye mama Ghana fo adisi tutu people man ma disi huma osi ma aban no to not mo yanja kosi na mo waka and ye do tuga how share hano ma na no ku no I am not mo yanja tifa the ma person adis so we structure with our policy hazard the friends and the population into authority can I protect the life and property.
Na Cape Coast wokro ya mpanyufo chese adandade wo ho no wonam nadbo nsaso bedwiragu se de be ye nkofo owie ne ma na ba beto dwa ese edan foforo asan adwiragu amanipa ba akwa fam atwere ne nkwa ye ka se obaako soso eda ya sabia wono nso ne de emu odene pa eye na ebre ko bra no ye behwe ese ye betumi anya nipa bi ni wonom adi nkomo ede afa ho na wo chese enipa no a epra ye no ye ka se oba wo mu no ye se ono de womudi nikodura ya sabia na Dr. Foshe ne ye chechese kana na okokora enti onka atiasefo eho se ye kasei ofoforo oka ho so epra wo Cape Coast Teaching Hospital eji ayahwe enti na chese ya torenchem kase ade mpanyimfo gina yesi a wo mu sie se wo mu ebedwira dan na guo no na chese dachi bia wo se contentem anye sade a ebetumi de asempa na abre adehye wo Cape Coast importamo. Ghana mampanyi ye John Dramani Mahama ebo ajaje fonsun din se Mrashibedwafo ntena se na appointment committee entoto omano se bibia koyi a wanyi wontum no nkodi djuma wo Supreme Court wo ma yo no sa amennam so nipa dodo no akobenkrom ese yanyi wontum enti se wo mbe fi omdwumadi ase wo Supreme Court.
As I stated at the opening of the vetting of the nominees, this government's hypocrisy reaches staggering heights that insult the intelligence of every thinking Ghanaian. The same NDC that relentlessly opposed the nomination of Justice Sufaya Benasco-Issa and Professor Richard Frimpong Opong under President Akufo-Addo, crying incessantly that the Supreme Court was bloated, now presents 7 nominees simultaneously without a hint of shame or self-awareness. Whereas, where was their fervent concern about the court size when 2 eminently qualified justices sought appointments? Where were their constitutional principles then? This gross dishonesty and rank opportunism reveals an administration driven entirely by political calculation, not constitutional principle. When President Akufo-Addo nominated 2 distinguished legal minds, the NDC discovered urgent constitutional concern about judicial bloat. Now, with 7 nominees presented en masse, they miraculously find compelling constitutional necessity. Such breathtaking inconsistency exposes a government that treats our constitution as a political convenience, embracing principles when expedient, discarding them when convenient. This hypocrisy, Mr. Speaker, is not merely embarrassing, it is constitutionally corrosive. It demonstrates that the NDC government views judicial appointment not through the lens of constitutional fidelity, but through the narrow prism of political advantage. Such an approach threatens the very foundation of judicial independence and constitutional governance. Our decision in opposing and voting against all the nominees is not against the person of these nominees. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, they are eating a forbidden fruit. The fruit, the tree that is bearing them is poison. It's a poison tree. And the fruit thereof, which is they themselves, cannot be edible.
The questions that the minority leader raised about whether they can uphold the independence of the Constitution, whether they can uphold the balance that is expected of the Constitution between the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary, whether they can do that, that is equally answered by this paragraph, which says that the committee is satisfied. That is, the committee made up of the NDC and MPP members is satisfied that the nominees possess the requisite qualifications, judicial temperament, and commitment to constitutional values expected of justice of the Supreme Court. Mr. Speaker, on the basis of this, I don't think we should belabor the point about whether or not we should approve these nominees. They are obviously qualified, capable, competent, and will do the job. And I want to assure the minority leader that all the questions that he asked us have been answered in the report. Mr. Speaker, on that note, I urge colleagues to vote adopting the report.
Honorable members, at the conclusion of the debate, the question is, as many as are in favor of the motion, say aye. Those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted. This Honorable House has accordingly approved the nominations of His Excellency the President of the following persons as Justices of the Supreme Court in accordance with Article 1442 of the 1992 Constitution, respectively.
Ababeto dwa ese na ye kasa de adwumayfo no se wonom eti atua na atuato no nso omunim dako a wom bebrechi se wo ba beye adwuma na Dallas Ampoma Williams kasamafo ye kwane nche ne yakobisa no asenti a wo chese allowance binom ho asem na de ma won ati atua yi enkomodie be na akoso ana wo mahunu se bia mpanyimfo bua na ebu wani agu wo niema a wo hwehwe so enti na ma wate atua mira ma ha mo akwa baba ye kase boy so awie na ho ye de
oba de adom ye ho ye na mo so
boko we de ya no wa ma musu one so kakra de amame why
eta tomate
okay me sha mu we ye ba ye na ye se allowances binom a esese mo nsaka na mususu se finance ministry no mase arehemu ode ma mo se yebetua mam ni nyina o ma hyeda abu omani egoso anyanyam bia nkomodie ko sei na awie sei nti ene moti ta agina yi
ene aba me da se mame enchia wone wahwefo nyina
ejoso
awie na enokose National Identification Authority eco strike almost at the end and then so almost iguso the National Identification Authority yes I say you can it's a kind of protocol as in solidarity we empathize with them near almost demanding a legitimate and we believe that idea buying and nomina execution in 2024. Your budget in our 2025 budget are a womb. Your capture, your approving. Indeed, and to say, no, as management, now you're shedding more Finance Ministry, my controller, and Accountant General, they go ahead to pay that 20% operational support allowance, and they are mad and staff,
Okay.
Unfortunately, and to say I corner, like I said, a bit delay. And we can't say my on the union now ready. The almost the almost Finance Ministry, a committee to a certain timeline. That thing, a bit cannot every amount. Okay,
that is say Finance Ministry no ntimi say bia ya wada ana adwada ana bia December 23rd and ye tua moka ye di allowances ne mamo eno no mo bonyo so
eno ne ma atuatie no ebe no ntinura no ye ne fair wages and salaries commission Dr. Graham meeting ahia
okay
ema ya yen hwehwe ginasi ayiti ye ne say fair wages for the Finance Ministry.
Okay.
Now, Oman compare Clatter from the Finance Ministry. Show almost July and August. Ebitia Mokano at the Amamo. The year July for no. Ebinya Arishim, Omasako to your various district offices. Akoye Juma at the Amagana.
And we a nationwide idea, or Mamunina.
All in 276 offices across the country, in Ghana and Nejuma. And your house because the Jinama strike and the cost of Benawatria, about they lose revenue, various ports, about they lose revenue, DVL and other strategic state institutions are Omunia, the National Identification Authority, a platform, normally a verification, at Tunia Servio Mokofo. There are a lot of banks. More verification platform ESO. It's actually a national security threat. And management, in Yakrata, at least a committee finance ministry need to certain timeline. That they my phone being average, we say, that thing, yes, a better Yusika. In about one of the
Mugusu a mu ne mpanyinfo no kasa said ye be ya o mu ba be hwe adwumayefo no ama mu na adwuma timi akoso no ade na muso ne mo nkasa na nka o mu nya adwuma said ye be ya mugusu etoto na monti de be firi mu aba na nka mo de ato mo nim e ba na un sister la mbonyo so de na nka aja o be ka se o mu kotena fia na o mu kotena
me say atuatie na o mo tie no initially na I'm also bit you but management no matter necessarily in salaries commission and PSW ekubata and kasano the way no more the nama omaba a middle ground so I feel you are winning. But just a letter from the finance ministry to control an accountant general and that thing will be to make salaries not the another allowances maybe amount and not okay will be to me a moment co ejuma to me say they are willing to say okay. That as management, you empathize with them. Now, you try to say you more a demand, no. You do to say, you must say, no. You perceive a fact when you so now you try to say, because of a Juma na as an authority, no. To me, you to more than 48 hours. Yes, or how are the banner? MY na it's your best union, and staff in management AC apply to say quite be a first one on sa a become 20% allowance no ye be na on sa account wo come back in koye djuma mai or management goes way to an amount on sa e become
yeah that's a papa you have for enkoma ye kodi ye NIA adwumayefo atuate a wonom ate ya say wo kire say allowances be assessor aban de ma wo no say aban amom nsa nka de a na wo mu so adwuma no enya de ombekwa koye ompanyimfo abechire mu say wo mguso ene aban tepono ho nti say Yera Dallas Ampoma Williams a wo ye kasa maafo na asere wo say ebe ya monkoye mo adwuma mu guso ne aban kasa say de ebe ya finance ministry no wo mu so be kire da ko a obetumi atua allowances na ma mo na mo so mo ho aha mu na yeto so biewa ade a sa wo hwe ye montene so ahu se plastics gugu montene so ensuo mu gatamu age Ghana ha ba bia afa enu na mpanyimfo asigan ye adwendwen kwa obefa so akrakra na afei so yabra na sade be ye fin bebrebe no a se ye nsase ani ye nsuo no ye betumi aso ano enti wonom kyese niema ni bia wo hwe so de beto akwan so ye tax ahodo ya de beto ye fidie so ne plastics na eba no na kakra ye fidie so ewo wa ha etimi wesa sa plastics ne sa niema no ne edinya bibi fufuro wo no de ewo mu dada ne de wo mo bayanyam ede adidwuma ede abo my Ghana de aka ebeba afi na nkofo kra no so se wo be kra ne tese wa so wo beje ho gina kakra anya sa so a ne tese ye bebra so a ya bra panti wo mu guso esesa adwen ewo.
We have frameworks such as the National Plastic Management Policy and the Hazardous and Electronic Waste Control Act. We have levies to fund sanitation, but gaps remained. Enforcement is weak, responsibilities overlaps, and planning is fragmented. So we admit that yes, these are the policy interventions we have as a country, but we have also identified the defects as far as those policy interventions are concerned. And together with collaboration, we'll be able to find solutions to them. We are also developing legislations for mandatory extended producer responsibility, ensuring that those who produce plastic help finance their collection and recycling. Ghana is exploring taxes, bans, and regulations to disincentive single-use plastics. It will take some time, but we are determined to ensure that we achieved what countries like Rwanda have been able to achieve. So Ghana is exploring taxes, bans, and regulations to disincentivize single-use plastics, inspired by Rwanda and Kenya. Because Rwanda and Kenya have actually banned, we aim to restrict products such as plastic straws and sachets while promoting local alternatives. And I think that these are some of the things we are looking at.
Ghana generates about 840,000 tons of plastic waste. annually. Yet only 9 to 10% of that waste is successfully collected and recycled. Approximately 9% still leak into the oceans. That is what I saw. This plastic threat clogs our drainage systems, leading to severe flooding, damages fisheries, and disrupts tourism, costing Ghana an estimated $100 million annually. And then health and ecosystem impact. Microplastic, as I said before, contamination infiltrates our water systems and marine life, posing long-term health risks.
Ohiane nka kwom ene se obi apese na setena mu dwono no onya bibi eyonti Ghana mabunu ma ne mema dodo no a enna mpempi se ye Ghana ha se ye amanfoforo so nkofo dada wonom me do be kwa abrochire adwuma wo ho kwa ya okoye ebi be kono na de ote ye no na enye saa ebinom ennam sebu akwan so dada nkofo ono so pe bibi ayenti na obehunu se wabu na ketem na okọ be kono na ye mona ato ya hya wobra eye niema basa eno eye ade ha adwen papa ewiase nyina ekuntia eno nti aso ye hwe ma ene mema ye die nsam so no ewiase nyina da ya watu asi ho ede ekuntia saa human trafficking ye nipa ye fa wonomo ebi wo kra nye won peso na ye de wo mo akohye nkwaso mu hu so no ye ekuntia ye hye bi e won kran ha na mpanyifo hia ya wanu di sem a wode tu dwa no ebini.
Victims are enslaved and their dignity and freedom taken away from them. Ghanaian women and men are recruited by unscrupulous and fraudulent agencies who entice them with offers of good-paying jobs in domestic service or the hospitality industry in the Middle East, where they are abused, raped, tortured, disgraced, and reduced to nothing. Some have mental health issues, and many have reported of being deceived, overworked, starved, molested, or forced into prostitution and sleeping with countless men. Others face the dangers of organ harvesting. Again, some use irregular means to migrate through the desert in an attempt to get to Europe and other Western countries. They travel under harsh conditions, and we see the videos of some dead and washed ashore by the Mediterranean Sea. Some are packed in vehicles and boats, overcrowded with no life jackets, and they risk dying. I was very interested in the presentation made by Professor Leander on the journey so far in relation to the law. One of his articles on human trafficking, Prof made mention of the fact that there have been renewed interest in human trafficking, which is influenced by incidents regarding migration flows, sexual exploitation, and is part of an organized crime affecting both developed and developing countries. Human trafficking now is the second largest trade after firearms trafficking and before drug trafficking. This is a serious thing, although the real life scale of trafficking is unknown due to the difficulty in getting through to these hard-to-reach groups. Because they wear masks.
Ebo shini akopie mu ewo shama amensi assembly mu aba beto dwa ese mabunu kuo mienu ye kasa yi wo mo e de abo ani atese aye ntokwa no nofo afa bi ni afa bi ebo anwo asem so e de banchiri mu emenam so wenum so se mabo ye de ye ne ye so ye beba ye si ya chire nipa ni mu mienu ama wo ba akoso so ye kasa yi woda ayaresabia ni nyina akwa mabunu ewo abusei abuesi mpacho mfa ncheme ewo shama na afe nchaban na yesi mabunu no wo mo afrefre mabunu don frefo bi frefre mabunu ni twehia ya na chese mabunu dwundwene wo mo ho na no na menteme ho ase eba ya na kyerɛ sɛ wɔn ɛto hyɛ wɔn ankasa ho edi wɔn ho awu a ɛnam so ama yɛ kasa yi yɛakyere nipa mmienu a wɔn abene wɔn nsam nimu a wɔn na edi mu ntintiman paa ɛwɔ Shama mpɔtam hɔ.
Asamara si a awesi wa de we twado ba nwere yen e charge de wa haya islam pay for bar was do asoma akmo 20 o to load akọ ba yen ye kwara na onye ye da was onye trouble jama is so de ko Shama na e se da ko load ko e apa ne kana grass wa yen se mebri nti so de e se ko Shama ba pay fo oba was nya abotet na so orokodo
ba no gbom ya kwa ye kunya ye ewe no ye twado mpemfa abede asem no wesi onya buto won kama asem nwem na Shama fontasi ya gbesi ko a na why na wa chewo na why na wo bro school form of marketing ten wo school an wo de cables na wo de shima forman ne ya na yo ku man mpemfa ba da akwesi na di na ba da why da wan agbesi funu bakasa de yin twado asem na wo ba na yin twado ni ye twado ya tno mo ya wa na betde Shama fo acha gbesi wo abure na wan na ba ya kuntu abansa clue masa wodi kikikikikikikiki wa ma ya no mina woni mbubu
ene da nyina aka se ya asol ma mofo ma bien wo ka ye dwuma wa Shama wo hwewon wo pa pe wa asom ma mofo no san we chil wo bai nti nya ya sa ya ponwocho ye nyina ya pe asomdwe nti won bu a mma Shama won dwedwe
na presifun na smama ne hene ne mpemfun wo so nyina wo bada wo besia abesi beautiful nti yan ko mamba nda won tede ni domini nara waraba nti high community center nti wonya wo ba ha be hia wa ha ne mpemfun won bra because ye ba ho a obaka de abesi fun open to corner wo da tie won
na da ye ko rounds no ye ke share communities Shama apo youth na mind you ye domini na wore you se yimpa bi mbire ya na domini na de ko aba asam na ro ko do na da ye share ye hwe tira mekan no ye di nkomo ya bibia fine. And there are certain decisions you take. Your intelligence of Nkofu who started it and then the police on the ground will get them into on your 1, 2. So your float in all the issues temporarily something must be done on float or constituency and municipality. The say the Obianko float for now until further notice was Shama. In fact, from in there 3 days, yende Ghana Police Service why is obotumbia nana na nimpem for is obotumbia ne pempo na hezi na sisia so asana so mbem na wakeke da obi nwe sesi ano mbemo smwa na police from why ende won se ke bia won fenchen o onyin botu.
We are abusanfo yento ansam ne so PRC e de ababatu eja ese net se ye ka say de nkani abo no empeja abamu a ye tum 2.5% e ba abeto so ama consumers nyina ne nyina akogina se abosumi miense bia ya wo mtena se bu nkompo no masese ne ma hwe e wo se ye de bi ka ho ana ye hwan so e ba fom empanyufo tena se a wo no mo esese ne ma keka ne ma si animu ne ho akohia se wo mo de 2.45% eto so se de be ya ebetumi aboa mo ndwumede ensuo de wo kye se eda so ejina de ejina ya yemfa yensa enka ye nti sesei commission no ena de we ababeto dwa wo mo se kwan ya wo mo fa so de hydro ene tema source no edi dwuma no eno na ho akohia ma sesei peja ebuo ni mu akwakodru de ye hu enti wo so manfo nyina se wonko akoma ento won yem eniema totoyi a ese de omudi omudwuma no nyade a PRC wo ho no ombehwe se obi nsisi Ghana ni da ombehwe se da de Ghana ni ebema ne ho ato no na ne sika ho bedwo no mo ebeye nti se CI de 2.45% no abeto electricity ebo eso yebo hwi na yakọ Ghana Metro so a adwumafo a ye adwuma wo ho de adesre ato abanim se wo sre no ada ohawa hodo bebre wo ho a wo mo fam a wo mo de ato aban anim mo mo dwumadi a wo mo die no entimi nsisi susu yie sa akade a wo mo de be ye adwuma afei unpaid allowance wo mo aye overtime chese ni nyina ya de a ha wo mo to mo sre aban se anim anim ya wo ntu ho na mo fam a wo se de be ye a wadwuma a wo ye no obetumi aye na waye ne hie
say ye the press release at the Babontin
Esre Abain, President John Dramani Mahama, say, when you see a good office, no ntie yesufre. Na in the press release, no, and your my womb a 9. The air can you say, your conditional service. 2. Apple Company, any GCA, a call my dear for some years now, worth millions of dollars. Omuntia and Famai, Nyemfa Bimoya Mubra. 3. Your instruments are your year Juma. Your berenda, your services proper, Nyama accurate weather forecast. As Menuka say, Duduana Asay. Dear Tosunai, your word Juma for my year Juma, so many years. Now more over time yetia. Both Omama etwema ko nyina no mutia edema omo. Ene ye current DG a wo ese sa over time no ontua biem. Wo bisa na say eden a o say ono no wanya aka se ontua no ontua. Union ene ne kwatena se e ka kire ne say why na de kura se ontua ma omo mpo biem a ono de for the last one, and Fama near who say, do my yen dadani nano, and what your mom. Papa sit down. Sansa my yakan wants a name, ya chong petition. A year early this year, and the command, ye sector minister, Air Honorable Sam George, Minister for Communications, GCA, and GSCL. A comedy and yen asem. Mobeka ya call strike 2019-2022 nina nasa issues here then eka home. One of the things the crown higher more was extended over time I catch a buying so untramain. A buying in strategy fair wages say on we and Nayantanasi near can once him. Fair wages in so in strategy, union and management say omunko Atnasie, no one set up subcommittee, no more say, or may come out with modalities and will be extended over time. As I'm speaking, management is sweeping that document under the carpet.
I don't pay what addition so much so no abena chebwache eni onimunyamfo andi apia kubi esquire etwetwen enkomo yewre kane wona na som adehye wo Asante Achem North. Na no obisa ne se NPP amanyoko ususu se de na ha o no oche se niema ni bia aha NPP eye ahomasodwe ahantan eni se obia ye de o feel se ne na koma ebeto ne yema no eni niema ni bia wonde osusu se amwa party no.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, last government. One thing I'm weighing as a party and government and indiscipline. They were abandoned.
And discipline or honor.
Of course. Discipline, no. Yet me, so uncle for me brave when I want to we go crowd beside us. Some million bar, some of the country more.
So now would there so we MP now was I a deputy minister paint so there ye need the sefata yeah
oh the be so the need mobile position now one se ka to ma me fia an kan tumi nya sa position
so be to mo se na
ni pa na di wakosi ho
na mo amkofo ni bi ya ahomaso
anti me timi pesa me ncha kan se na ntisa I cannot say that miss me trouble me wo wiase nyina no
na wo chebe wo mo e ka kire mo se wo ya ahomaso nti
na ti want me ka media me ka obia de was dem ye oh indiscipline in office ni ade ni nyina amwaye na maybe vice president frame in the private meeting say me for opinion make say if ever you become president of Ghana make sure that there is discipline in your administration.
No?
Yes, share baby bisano say a dear be one single thing be na me catch no.
Na dey na one can share former president Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo say indiscipline abdorso na wona movement one fan and nsi form.
na edientina yes sir
edientina de yes sir
edientina ya gasa say yenyi ikrofo bi firim ana orefi
Ken a former finance minister
the agitation was not for Ken alone any na
oh there were other not back
the deputy back so kan
ano mu mienu nyina
yes enti we dey me fancy ho na mo me dey me pese me kira wo say wo ye papa kra na wo ye through indiscipline no ensandi
ye share obi
Brian Champon he stands for discipline.
Okay. Yera Andy apia kubi esan eyin samisa abenache bwache bisa no ano se wono de opeso woka ene se emrahye bedwa na wo so omugina kontenkro ya enye se aban ana omampanyini betumi ache wo no de wonye anaso wo be hye won bibia osusu se bia emuatimemufo wo se wo de wo ho se kontenkro eno da nchen a wose se mrahye bedwafo ne ye mrahye bedwam bills ahodo wobi susu se ye de edoso nti enye kra ye nyintum ana wobi susu se ye doso se asemasi nti eye enso ye nyintum no eno so enya de papa
you know me ye dwuma parliament nyina na me parliamentary independence. So if I had gone back they not me fighting for it as a parliament must be parliament. It should not be a post office. Executive no ebetro bibi dey ba ho ape the next morning it goes as law. No, it must be debated upon. It must be improved upon. Like say value addition no as a parliament here from executive proposal. And no na suppressed because of the numbers of the executive no. And yet
majority carries the vote.
Executive the idea legislature a opportunity for us to do the corrections and add value and also bring out human rights inputs into it. Ebi a omo drafting na omo ni da omo target bi ebi a target na sacrifice possible human right abuses na they bye na more personal no. In our particular case, who said can be busy bibi and she said bibi budget let parliament sit as an independent body and add value to that. Now in most cases no assembly free executive but penase executive you know what numbers of parliament as I say echo. So it is always important. It's always important say parliament no as I say independent. Some winning from executive influence. No, na eba say Mudia Diaba, yes, ye trans, and in any case, Dr. Ayini, on now ye chairman of subsidiary legislation committee, na maybe ranking.
We are busy for yetwa and some so na National Concerned Small Scale Miners Association of Ghana de atudwa se na nsan enema bia ekoso efa miners ne ho ene de yede wo mu fam no enya de a wombo edwusokra.
National Concerned Small Scale Miners Association and Krabata War Asantemantema Ayensem Trefon Shemudie Neno and Otitreni Oda Equinano Ura Kojo Pepra Kasa Watcher say O share more members our more aid to Sikakoko Ewo and Miahodo Pino Abain Edumekua Mate Anti-Galamse Tax Force no Eyadia or more tata or munkro kra our mu embum rabia Neno and was say as we ye say and this ya buying by Sa tax force no Omudio Munesium so person gumujuma Nano the Yadi trase amasa adwumadi na ekoso wo se wo ho na wo ye adwuma obehu na tax force for na ba excavator na yaje enso wo nye bone bia o se eno an sen na amen
aban ni so aduhu no se obeboa ye adwuma no tax force aban ati ena me no ka sei omo harase the members by seizure na so omo sisa enfidie ni bi wo kra na eni site ye adwuma ebi mu kra edwuma na omo eye no nkrata den ewo ho na de yeka akira aban eni se ya nhwe ni yi a ekwan a aban dada no ode small scale miners for far so enam sa no o hwe a lot of votes in the various mining areas no ya nhwe ni yi a na sa ena ebeto aban ya wabai ni nyina ne se before so be bo hye bo se obe boaye ama yedwuma no etumpon na de enye no we yi aden efim nti ye de enim say fine galamsey ade e nyina no yen support say ye nsuo ne yen sase essay but nipo won nkrata o ye n'edwuma a ne excavator esi fie mpo a on start edwuma no sa nipa ne enkofa ne excavator na yen fa nye de enko excavators bebre na no mpo netu amna egugu a we need these machines to cover this pit it machines na yasesa de akono aba be sakobo bosia foforo na ode aba na yasa de excavator foforo akokata amna ne so ana edwuma wei afa nipa bia chen aba edwuma bia edwuma wei 2024 ye produce 151 ton no contribute to 45% of total gold production of this country afa nipa bebre amebunu bebre na sebe omu depending on aban sebe omu ye de nipa o say nsuo ni nsase aban eso akọ won so a ye ni problem na emom yenum a ya boka akoto ye excavators ekuta ye nkrata e besra aban on fa hyehyɛ bapa megu akwam na ye nyina ya mboa no na hyehyɛ ne o ma no wi a ye nyina yetumi aye adwuma na ye kra ya boa mamboefo no omu say nsuo ni nsase
As now for your ceremony at Tonkraba Sisia.